Hi, everybody. It's Glenn McKnight here, and I'm joined by Alfredo Calderon, co-founder of the school, and our illustrious Bill Jors, one of our teachers for the program. I'm going to be clicking on throughout the session people who are coming a tad late. So we have a few people coming in. So just for the sake of this recording, because we have roughly 77 people in this cohort, so many people um, will be joining us remotely, and they'll be listening to the recording, because as soon as this recording is done, I'll be posting it on the YouTube channel and then to the site. So I'd appreciate if you can mute your mic. The last thing we want to hear is your telephone ringing or noise in the background, and close your video. We're going to be open because of what we're trying to show you. And I really strongly recommend using the chat, uh, and go ahead and say hi, or so that we can see that you realize where the chat is. So that's the first start of today. So let's progress. Okay, I'm just 1 second as I'm okay. Again, good morning. So we do have live sessions. This one is in particular is one of the live sessions, but we're going to be doing things slightly different for our live sessions. So many people have expertise. I'll be encouraging those who have something in common and they're doing great research in certain areas. I'm going to be doing our shared knowledge sessions, but I'll let you guys know more about that. It's something that Alfredo and I have been discussing for a while. We have over 120 recordings already, which is a wealth of recordings, and they're shared throughout the session on the live sessions. But I'll be working with those who are interested in talking about their stuff in their own country and what research they're doing. So they'll look forward to that, and I'll be setting up a schedule for that. The recordings tend to take a little while. In the old time, we used to have something called Bluehost, not anymore. So the recordings tend to go up faster than 12 to 24 hours, and they're all placed into the YouTube channel. Also, we try to convert any of the slideshows from our speakers into the ebook format. So we get the slideshow, convert it to a PDF, and then we after that we share that as well. So it's easier, so you don't have to scramble and chase people for the slideshow. And for the sake of today, we may be finished before that, but we're asked at the end of the session, roughly 45 minutes from now, we ask to open up the mics and then read the questions in the chat as well. Okay, go ahead, Alfredo, if you want to introduce yourself. You're muted, Alfredo.
Okay, so sorry for that.
That's okay.
It happens. So my name is Alfredo Calderon. As you all know, I'm co-founder with Glenn of this initiative back in 2020. In September of 2020, we launched the first cohort. It's important that you be aware that Glenn and I will be sharing information with you through the different chats and the announcement section within the course. And as well, if you have any information you want to share with us, please do so. As you all know, I'm a member of ICANN. Specifically, right now, I'm a NOMCOM representative from North America in the ICANN org group. I also work with ISOC Global and our chapter here in Puerto Rico, where I am from. So we're glad to have you all on board, and we know that this group will be a lively one based on the introductions you've done. And we want to encourage you to get in touch with your colleagues, your classmates, and and start dialogues about different ideas you may have, because one of the purposes of this course is networking. We want you to get in touch with colleagues that have similar projects, similar ideas or interests as you do. So thank you and welcome. Back to you, Glenn.
Great, thank you. Quick introduction. Previous life as a director of the Linux Professional Institute, where I went to 43 countries promoting free and open source software certification in Linux, and did that for a number of years. Prior to that, I also ran different schools and developed curriculum for IT schools and other types of schools. But so over the years, I got involved with humanitarian technology. So I was part of a founding group with IEEE on the Humanitarian Technology Challenge, which is sort of a hybrid between the Engineering Society and the UN Foundation. So we were coming up with, we had to boil it down to three of the UN Millennial Goals. And the three we settled on was reliable electricity, a 1 kilowatt system, reliable communication, point-to-point systems, and patient records or individual records. We were doing quite well. We did a project in Haiti, and then lo and behold, the earthquake happened in Haiti, and all the funds got funneled away. It's amazing how much money can leave your project and it just dries up. So that went that way, and so a lot of the rollout didn't happen, but we morphed it into the an annual conference called the Humanitarian Initiatives Committee, and it still exists today, and it also involves with agricultural projects as well. Through the oh gosh, all through the COVID years, I believe, Alfredo, I talked you into it as well. We
Yep.
had to assess IEEE proposals, a COVID special funding for humanitarian projects, and Alfredo is constantly assessing people, and I won't say which organizations, assessing people for fellowships. So am I. I just finished a bunch last night. So we have an incredible firsthand knowledge and we're not going to say how to pad your resumes or how to answer a fellowship, but we're happy to sort of share in generic ways without compromising anything. But I could tell you, we really do know the difference between bullshit and reality, and it's important to remember that with whatever you do. But as I said, we started VSIG at the height of COVID because for 6 years we've been doing something called the North American School of Internet Governance, and during that time period we couldn't be face to face. So we started off with VSIG, and at the same time I was still a board member internationally with ISOC, and I was also the founder of the ISOC Canada. So lots of stripes. So welcome everybody, and let me move on. I think that's basically it for me. Okay, I think it's extremely important to recognize who has been great supporters and making this course free, and particularly over what I can't, I haven't added these numbers, but it's well over 1,000 people have taken our course, and this is the 9th cohort. But the first two, right, NCC from Berlin and PIR, have been the number 1 and 2 in terms of sponsorship for us and the highest level. We thank them very much. PR from Puerto Rico, VeriSign, Aaron, Identity Digital, Sierra, Afrinic, ICANN, GoDaddy. These are some people at different levels that come in the support we're doing. And not just financial support, many of these people and these organizations have stepped up and been speakers, like Chris Buckingham from RIPE or Pablo Rodriguez has been a fantastic speaker in the Spanish program. Keith Drasek from VeriSign. The name goes on and on and on. It's because over 10 years of being involved with ICANN and Aaron and Sarah, all these, we've actually met a lot of the movers and shakers within the internet governance space. Again, thank you guys for supporting our sponsors. Okay, why did we create VSIG? Who was involved? What are the features and benefits? What are the immediate outcomes of the student cohorts? Some little bit of housekeeping, and then the live walkthrough, which I'm going to ask Alfredo to do the extensive live walkthrough. We're going to turn over to him, and he's going to show it to you. Why do we create it? We already said there was a need for it coming from NASIG was not doable. And we thought there was a big gap in the marketplace in terms of doing what we're doing. The idea is that everything is there. If you want to take anything, take it. If you guys have some suggestions, and thank you, Matthew, on that link you sent a couple of days ago on New Internet. We'll add that to our repository. We'll be sending everybody a Google form. If you find a great resource with the link, I've actually worked on that form already, and I'll send it out today. Why did we create it? We wanted it free. We want it multilingual. So we have it in Spanish, English, and French, and we're working on the Russian translation. The Hindi, Bengali, and Cantonese hopefully will happen. We'll see, but it takes time. Who's involved? Well, obviously Alfredo, Lillian, and myself, or the people that are in the trenches working away at stuff. But we have an advisory council, which includes Bill Joris. Thank you for joining us today, Bill. He's coming in from near San Francisco at 6 this morning. Eduardo Diaz, who is on the ALAC, deeply involved with ISOC in Puerto Rico, chair for the NASIC in Puerto Rico. We have Rita Chaudhry out of New Delhi. She is a MAG member with the IGF. Pablo Rodriguez, I mentioned him before. Sorry, Alfredo. Oh, Olivia, Dr. Olivia grew up in LeBlanc. He's might be in Switzerland, might be in Turkey. Wonderful guy. Do look at the history. I believe I shared his slideshow with all of you in the history section. It's probably the best slideshow on the history of the internet. Wonderful fellow. Again, that's the advisory council, and then big involvement is people we've reached out to as speakers, and we've captured. We have Vince Cerf, we have Dr. Eduardo.
Steve Crocker.
Yeah, Dr. Steve Crocker. I don't know why. And not Peter Wolf. Peter Wolf was done too.
Bob Kahn.
Yeah, Bob Kahn. So those are the three founders of the internet, like a stool. And we managed to get them. And people said to me, "You'll never get Bob Kahn." I got Bob Kahn. That took a bit of effort, and he was great. Nobody really hears about Bob Kahn. They hear about Steve Crocker, and he's a very subdued guy. And but yeah, it was great to have that. What are the features and benefits? Well, we make it so that you work at it your own pace, regardless what your platform is. It's agnostic. You can download any of the PDFs. You can grab the material, read it at your pace. If you want to get certified, get certified. If you don't want to get certified, don't get certified. We're not putting a gun to anybody's heads. So it's again, it's something that it's up to you. If you want to come to the live sessions, you can. So we try to make it as liberal as possible because we're all adults. This is not high school. This is not your university setting. We recognize you're all on a journey, and the benefits of this is to take what you want. Whatever I can say to you, don't think you have to read and absorb every word in this course, because it's not necessary. If you're in maybe human rights, or maybe you're into something that's strictly the legal issues or something, some of that other stuff on maybe community networking is not your shtick, not something you like. So we figure whatever is that I guess cranks your clock sort of thing, great. But again, we try to give you a ton of material in the complimentary section. You'll see it in a second. Okay, what are the immediate outcomes for current student cohort? Did you want to address that, Alfredo?
Sure. Basically, and I think I mentioned it in my introduction, it's a twofold thing. We want all of you to know the fundamentals aspects of internet governance. As Glenn just mentioned, we're not deep diving into and making you read everything. You just be selective of what your interests are and sort of deep dive into that. The other thing is we want you to do some networking. We want you to get to know each other. Glenn and I and Bill, we're here to help you out if you want to learn a little bit more about a specific organization. And we have a module where we sort of give you the basic information of most of the internet governance organizations so that you can actually identify where you feel more comfortable. So think about that. And of course, the third thing I want to mention is that we want you to become a speaker. We want you to participate. We want you to share the projects you're working on so that others can maybe get some ideas of how to incorporate that into their communities. So as you can see, this is completely open. Anybody can participate as long as they submit their application form. We have a huge repository of documents, videos, and so forth. We're constantly adding more information. So this is for you. These are the outcomes we are expecting. We hopefully will see you, some of you actually are either fellows, ICANN fellows, or are interested in contributing to different organizations within the IG ecosystem. So welcome for those that are already involved, those that are wanting to get involved. This is the place to be to learn the basics for that. Glenn, back to you.
Yeah, you said it absolutely succinctly that the immediate outcomes. Obviously, you're going to know each other during the time period, hopefully, and share some information. But I have to tell you, as soon as in April, when this course is done, that's it. We kick you all out. Not that we don't like you, it's that we only have a limited license, and basically we have to get ready for the next cohort. So which means we purge all the names. We don't sell the names, we don't keep the names, and basically, if whatever you want, they say, oh, that's great, that's a great article or whatever. Get it when you can, because when the April comes along and we'll give you warnings, only so much time left. Grab it when you can. So that the long-term outcomes, we're hoping that'll be of value to you. But for right now, let's go for the ride together, and we promise you, the three of us will respond as quickly as possible with any ideas and the dialogue. And I will follow up on the great idea we've been fostering of setting up some times with 3 or 4 of our participants to talk about their projects. So if a group of you are lawyers, let's do a session associated with what your legal work is, associated with internet governance, so you can showcase it. And let's it'll be a benefit for everyone. So I'll work that out with all of you with live stream it with Zoom. So stay tuned for that. Quick on housekeeping. The sessions, we're doing great. We mentioned it at the very beginning. It's pretty straightforward. But I want to go run through the live walkthrough right now. Okay.
So Glenn, I think you can go through. Yeah, you can move
Okay.
forward.
So you want to take the screen or?
No, no, go. Okay, let me take the screen if you don't mind.
Okay, I'll stop sharing. Okay.
And let's see, where do I have
Look at the handsome people we have here.
see if I can get the presentation up. The
Okay.
website up. No, this isn't the one that I'm looking for. Bear with me. I have so many screens open here. I can't even identify the one that I want to go to. No, it's not this one. So stop sharing. Let me see if I can find. No, I have it here someplace. Oh, here it. No, it's not this one.
It's just like having a pet dog that you want them to do a trick. Okay, look at my dog. He'll roll over, he'll play dead, and that's when your dog runs away. It's the
Yeah,
same situation. Um,
I just had it open and I can't find it now.
okay, take your time.
So sorry for that, guys. Give me a few minutes here so I can stop sharing, open it again because I think I lost it. Let's see if it's
Just gonna check the chat, see if anyone has posted anything.
shown.
Yeah, you mentioned Lady in the Look as our manager. She's based in Colombia. And
Yeah, I
Matthew,
mentioned.
Matthew, I'm going to post that link for everybody of the okay. I think
Okay,
we're
here.
getting here
Yeah,
we go.
I got it. Okay, so uh, when you receive your credentials, all you have to do is log in and it'll ask you for your username and your password. Uh, so hopefully all of you can see the screen. And when you log in your case as a participant, you'll only see the course that you are registered in. In my case, I see more courses because I'm managing others. As Glenn mentioned, we have a Spanish version of the course that we start next month. We have the French one, and we're working on a few other versions of the course. So you're going to log into the Group J course, and let me walk you through a couple of things. And I'm going to start with the top right side of the screen, and I hope you can see this. You'll see that you have your profile image if you uploaded something. If you click on that, you'll see that you have a sort of an additional menu, and I'm going to click on profile. And this is important for you guys, especially when you're not from, whoops, I have to log in again. Especially when you're not from the the same time zone as we are, meaning Glenn, which is in Eastern Saving Time, and myself that are in AST, which is Standard Time. We in Puerto Rico don't change the time zone, but in the United States, continental United States and Canada, they do. And around the world, as you all know, there's a different time zone. So when I clicked on profile, I have here a short description of myself in Spanish and in English for my participants or students. And then you have a couple of sections here. There's one that's called the user's details, and it has your capability to edit your profile. So if you click on edit your profile, this will allow you not to change your username, but to change your password if you need to. You can add your own description that you saw before. You can add your own picture if you want to do that. And I'm guessing that some of you have already used Moodle, so you're aware of all these features that you can work with. Now, the important thing here is that you are able to plug in the adequate time zone you are in. If you want to write your country, select your country, you can also do that so that the information you get reflects your own time zone. In addition to that, your name, and I think you saw it, and let me go back because there's another detail that I want to highlight. Your name has to be the name that you want to appear in your certificate if you complete the course. So if you go to edit profile and you see that your name isn't spelled or written the way you want to, this is the place where you can adjust it. So make sure you do that if you're seeking the certificate of completion, so it's adequate and appears adequately in the certificate of completion. So having said that, on the left side, you'll see that you have a couple of options. I'm going to go into the actual course again. So give me a second here. And when you go into the course, you'll see on the left side, right here, that you may have something like this, but if you click on this icon right here, it'll show you the different modules you have. There's 10 modules besides the introduction one, and most of you have gone already through the introduction one, and you have done the getting to know the participants. There's a participant guidebook. I'm going to click on that one because I want to highlight that you have to click on Mark as done, which is one of the requirements for those that are seeking the certificate. So make sure you click on this one, Mark as done, once you read it, of course, so you're aware of what are the requirements and how to navigate the course. We usually, I'm adding some sort of audio files in different sections. So this is added information that will allow you to better understand what you are expecting. And I'm going to
read the whole document and check the box on the top labeled as mark as done, if you consent to comply with the content in the participant guidebook. We will go over some details in our introduction session on Monday. Read the whole document and check.
So that gives you sort of a an audio version of some of the text that we have in the different sections. Glenn mentioned something that we need to emphasize. We have sort of some standards of behavior, and most of you, as you can see, have already started introducing yourself. We're looking forward to having more people introduce themselves as we move forward, because this will help us to get to know you, and you get to know your classmates, and you can probably decide to speak or to send a message directly to one of the classmates to collaborate in some initiative. We also have in each one of the modules, we have a sort of a section where we talk or we point you to the live sessions we're going to have, how you can register, when you can register, and so forth. All those sessions are being done using Zoom as the new platform. Now, let me go into the second module, the history of internet governance. This one is important because I need to let you know the format we're following. We have objectives for the module, and we have some introductory comments or resources for the module. And as Glenn mentioned, we have ebooks, we have some text, and we have some audio. And each and every one of them has links embedded within them so that you can actually click on those links, and that will give you additional information. Now, the second part, which is the main content material in this one, is the history of internet governance, has a book format. So as I clicked on it, you'll see on the right side that you have a table of content. So it has the format of as a book. The first number tells you the chapter we're on. So we have chapter 1, introduction, which is what we are. In the middle screen, you'll see that this is sort of the introduction, where we have a couple of videos to introduce you to what is internet governance, so you can watch that or you can hear it. And we have a video that came out recently with an interview of the three fathers, the key fathers of the internet, that are being interviewed by ICANN staff. So you have Vince Cerf, you have Bob Cannon, you have Steve Crocker. We've had all three of them in our courses. In our course, you can go to the previous playlist of the Virtual School of Internet Governance, and you will find those videos of each one of them and what they talked about. As you navigate through the table of content, you'll see that we have different titles highlighting the topic that's going to be covered. And if we have sections within a chapter, like in chapter 4, the VSIG, we have 4 sections regarding VSIG on the chapter, and so forth. So that gives you an idea of the structure we have for each one of the modules. And You'll find there's a lot of material there. As Glenn mentioned previously, you don't have to go through all of it, but it's worthwhile at least having an idea of what's included there. We also have in each one of the modules a join the discussion, sort of a forum format. And we have some text here that's important for you guys. We have a section here where you have a Google form that you can use to submit to us some resources that you feel are worthwhile adding to the complementary resources, and I'll go into that in a second. But we also have some sort of dictionaries or resources that we feel that will help you out understanding some of the key acronyms that are being used throughout the course. We explain the acronym within each one of the modules as we go through them. But if you want to have a sort of a high level overview of all the acronyms and terms that ICANN has, you can click on this link here and it'll take you to where it is, and it's being updated constantly. Diplo Foundation also has one that I think you should be looking into, and it's going to be, or it's being updated as well. And then GSMA has another one that's more geared toward technical people in mobile technologies that you should be looking into as well. We have a quiz. Each module has a quiz. The quizzes are basically used as highlighting some of the key issues that you should walk away with. It's not something that you have to memorize. You can take them as many times as you need. We just want you to be aware of some key concepts that you should know. When do the quizzes end, or until when do you have to take the quizzes? Each one states when it closes. It's usually going to be on April 19th of this year at midnight. And it gives you the grade you need to pass. Each quiz is required to get an 80%, and I'm repeating this again, 80% as a minimum on each one if you're seeking the certificate of completion. And I'll remind this to you at the end again. We have a complementary resources section. This complementary resources section has a material that complements the key concepts being discussed in each one of the main content area. So if you want to get more information regarding one of the topics we're discussing, this is the place to go. And this will take you back to the origins of the internet governance in this case. It has a big and nice presentation by Dr. Olivier Crepin-Leblond that he does for us when we have the live sessions. And we have a lot of resources that will take you back to the 1950s, 60s, and so forth. And you can look into that as well. And if we have a live session, you'll see that it says session. And we have some videos already here that we would like you to look into. Some of you may have known Marilyn Kay, rest in peace. She was one of our first speakers in the first cohort we had. And this was probably the last live presentation she had before she passed away. So that gives you an idea of what the structure of each module is. And now I'm going to go into the last one, the one on emerging technologies. And as a matter of fact, it's worth mentioning that this module on emergent technologies was a result of feedback from you, the participants, back in 2021, I think it was, after the first year that we had the course. Some participants thought that emerging technologies would be a good topic to develop based on the influence artificial intelligence and other new technologies was having in the internet governance ecosystem. So we have this. module on imaging technologies. Now, if you go through this module, and I'm going to emphasize the last two things, once you complete this module on imaging technologies, you'll have a section within it on required completion survey. Now, this is a survey that you have to complete in order to get your certificate. So far, if you're seeking the certificate, what do you have to do? You have to click on Mark as Done, the guidebook, the participant guidebook. You have to take 10 quizzes and get 80% minimum on each one of them. And then you have to answer this or complete this survey. And once you do that, you'll see that the certificate of completion will actually be mailed to you. And you can see it in the course if you want to. It'll be sent to you as a PDF, but you can actually see it here. Let's see if I can get it to come up. At least a model that would be probably, I think it's mine. Let's see if it comes up. Okay, here it is. And I hope you can all see this. So it says January 19th when you completed it. And it has on the bottom top, bottom left, right side, sorry, it has a unique identifier. That unique identifier will allow us to go back and corroborate that you actually completed the course. If somebody else wants to corroborate it, we can do it using that number as a unique identifier. And I mentioned your name, so make sure that in your profile you have your name adequately written so that when you get your certificate as a PDF, it has your name as you want it to appear. So Glenn, back to you. That's basically it.
Okay, let me share my screen again. Go back to the slideshow. Okay, so as we explained to you a couple of times now, why we created the concept, and it's important to mention. We mentioned something called Moodle, and that's the MOOC. That's the massive open online courseware that we're using. It's an Australian-based. We have to pay for it, obviously, but it's updated extensively. It's probably becoming I would say, Alfredo, the most popular online platform. And you can change it has a lot of language modules connected to it. So it has I think we've been happy with it. It did get bundled with Bluehost. Not Bluehost, Blue Chat. It's
Blue button.
Blue Button, sorry. Yeah, we dropped that and we went for a paid version of Zoom instead. It's worked out fairly well. But again, and again, this is really not, even though we say it's a source of entry level education, some of the stuff is a little more sophisticated than somebody who's a high school student or level entry. But again, it gives you a good broad swath of the things that are discussed within the IG space. And some of you may only be interested, maybe say legal, or maybe just community connections. And so some of that stuff you're just going to gloss over, which we understand. Okay, so let me clicking here. And we went through already who was involved and and again, if you want the certificate, you have, as he's cited, there's a couple of criteria that you have to follow. Please make sure you read the participant guidebook as well. Okay, I think that's it for me. We went through the online platform. Don't think there's anything else that I could say. Oh, just my last quote. as a saying attributed to Abraham Lincoln, but I heard elsewhere that it's not, but he did apparently say it, or we associate it. You can please for adoption some of the people some all the time, and all the people some of the time, but you can't please all the people all the time, which we're saying some of you may be absolutely ecstatic with this and it's exactly what you want. Some people say this is a waste of time. Look at we made a decision on the approach. We made the decision on the content. Some of you may opt to say, okay, it didn't cost you anything. If you want to invest the time and energy into it, great. We welcome you. If you want to make a comment on suggestions to make it better, we'd appreciate that. But we appreciate your time and energy. And again, we hope to improve it over time, but it's your feedback that'll be helpful. Okay, so that's it from me. And I'm just wondering if Bill, you have anything to say?
Nope, I think you've pretty much covered it. I would just note, if you didn't catch it, the comments in the chat, Alfredo mentioned how many acronyms there are. But if anything, he understated it. And I think for all three of us, we're too close to it. So we commonly toss off ICANN, IETF, IANA, etc. And those are acronyms too. And I think we lose the track that those have all got actual names on them. Nobody uses the names, but if you've never encountered them, you sit there muttering, what the blazes does that mean? And we will try to, at least the first time, lay out what they mean. And as Alfredo notes, there are dictionaries with the course as well. But if you hit an acronym that you've never encountered before, feel free to write one of us and ask. Thank you.
Move to another month.
What was that?
Somebody that's not muted.
Okay.
It's taking. Okay, go
I
ahead.
think your point is well taken, Bill. I think and we try to, when there's two today, we're sort of our brains are going all over the place, and we may have said some acronyms and we didn't get quick enough to interrupt each other or put it into the chat. So really, it's up to you guys too. We are not your parents, so if you see something, if we used an expression, like VSIG is not necessary. You guys should know what VSIG is now. But if there's something that comes across and if you didn't catch it, ask in the chat. We're trying to monitor it as quickly as possible. Okay, was anyone trying to say something or comment?
Glenn, we might open it for questions if anybody has any questions.
Yeah. Some people are still coming in. Folks, I have to stress this. We have a lot of people, majority of our participants are from Africa. There's some internet connectivity issues that some people, maybe they're doing at an internet cafe or they're at home, it's not as stable. But and I appreciate some people coming in from India today. It's got to be late for them. It's probably after midnight. So we do appreciate you coming, and I do understand that people come in and out. So for those who are late or who missed bits of this, the recording will be done and it'll be shared, so you won't miss anything. I promise you. I'll post that today. So I just want to throw off this example of the resource page, and I'll post this today as well. So I don't see any comments or any questions from anybody waving their hands or putting their hands up. I would like to thank you all for joining us today. I just want to ask Alfredo, is the North American School of Internet Governance sessions coming up at the end of February? would they be remotely available to any of the VSIG students, Alfredo?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for the question, Glenn. If any of you can't make it, aren't going to be in Puerto Rico for the ICANN meeting, which is happening on March the 2nd through the 7th, you can actually go to nasic.school, and I think in the chat I wrote it. And there's a section on that page where you can register for the remote participation for each one of the sessions we're having. There's also a section where you can look at the program and see the times and who are the speakers and so forth and what's the topic. You might be interested in participating in one or listening into one of those sessions. We're going to have moderators available to moderate the chat and share your questions with the panelists and the audience on site. So let me sort of give you a short background on NASIC. NASIC was a project we started in 2018, and I mean we started because Eduardo Diaz from Puerto Rico, Glenn McKnight and myself, we decided to start this initiative after we went to an IGF in Mexico, in Guadalajara, and we found out that North America didn't have a School of Internet Governance. So I think it was in 2016 we went to that. And then in 2017, we said, well, let's start working on our version of the North American School of Internet Governance. And at the end of March, from the 28th through the 1st of March, we're having the 6th edition of the North American School of Internet Governance. It's free. We offer some fellowships, which we're closed now. We offer either hotel for the 3-day event in this case, or flight. This year we're offering hotel since it's in the sort of the high season here in the island, and in the United States it's the spring break. So the hotels are sky high, expensive, but we're having it before the ICANN meeting, which is the community forum meeting here in Puerto Rico as well. So we have a huge pool of next geners and ICANN fellows that are going to be on site with us. We're expecting to have, if you look at the program, Steve Crocker, he's going to be one of our speakers. He's going to be on site. We're having the chair of the Internet Corporation of Assigned Names and Numbers participating on
players
site.
in the evolution of the internet.
So we have a
After
nice
you have completed.
So we have a huge number of participants and speakers on that. So I wrote the link so you can look at the program and the information on the site in the chat. So back to you, Glenn.
Yeah, and I think we have the recordings from previous years as well on the YouTube channel. But there's a lot of fantastic sessions. What's the theme this year, Alfredo?
This year, the theme is confronting the truth, trust, and hope of internet governance. So
Okay.
basically, the idea is to walk the participants, and keep in mind, this is not a high-level thing. It's sort of getting people to know what internet governance is all about. And we have key players from different multi-stakeholder from the IGA ecosystem, including people that are well-versed on the multi-stakeholder model itself, the origins of internet governance, and we have people from the cybersecurity sector, from the internet service providers and so forth. So it's going to be interesting, and it'll give you some of you a background on what is involved in internet governance, policy making, and so forth.
Yeah, I will not be physically there, but I'll be doing all the sessions remotely. So also coming up, if anybody's interested, the IGF is looking for proposals. So if anybody is keen on the themes for IGF this year, my particular interest is in carbon-free internet or environmental issues on the internet. So I'm putting together a panel for that. which we've been big advocates for a green ICANN. So if anybody else is sort of interested in that, let me know. So we're going to be looking for people around the world to be part of our panel for the IGF. That's basically it, folks. So you get an idea that this idea didn't come out of the woodwork. And we have certain principles that we try to live by. And it's exciting to have you all here. Please take as much as you can. You can see with the ebooks, you can download them themselves, so you can have your own repository. Make sure you grab the links of the YouTube videos and stuff. And we look forward to seeing you again. So I'll let you know on this concept of participants presenting. I'll schedule some times of those who are interested in sessions, and we look forward to seeing you another time. So the next session that I have scheduled is a lead security expert from CIRA. That's the .ca in Canada. That'll be coming up in in February. It'll be at 10 o'clock. I think it's at 10 a.m. On Monday as well. But I'll let you guys all know on the link on that session, and I'll make sure I'll get the slideshow in advance. Okay, and that's it for me, folks.
Okay, have a great day.
Okay.
Good morning to all of you. Bye.
Okay, thanks, everybody.